Welcome. I'm so glad you guys could make it. We have some awesome party girls that are going to teach us some incredible tips. So we have actually had several of y'all just wanting to get into your cold market and wanting some ideas on how to do that, and very open to trying classes. But you want more information, we have requests for more training on how to do those classes. So we reached out to some of our top leaders who rock the socks off of classes and asked them to share their tips with us. So tonight, it's still this afternoon. So this afternoon, Stephanie, Rebekah, Alyson, and Joni are going to share with us what they are doing that has worked with classes and kind of just give you an overview. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Stephanie, and she's gonna start us off with just talking about why, the why of classes. And I hope you guys will interact in the chat. If you do have questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat, and these ladies will do their best to answer your questions. So Stephanie, take it away.
All right, hey guys. So I'm going to define two terms real quick that I'm going to be using, because I'll be honest, when I first started, there's some of you who, you know, this might not be your first business. There's some of you who this is. And so when I was first, I'm a registered nurse. I have been with one other company prior to this, but I jumped right into, multi-level marketing. And I was watching videos to learn, right? You got to, whatever you're in, you want to be the best at. So I was hearing the words cold market and warm market, and I was like, what does that mean? So warm market's going to be all your people that you know, okay? Like your friends, your family, basically people you're close with. Cold market is that, like it's cold, like you don't know these people, they're new people. Okay, so remember those two things as I go through this real quick. The reason why we do, or we would encourage you to do CBD classes is because you want to get into your cold market. Your friends and family are not going to make you a 100K affiliate. They're just not. It's just the way it is. And you can't expect them to sustain your business either. So if you are in this, I get everybody's in this for different things. You have different goals. Each one of us down the line is, it's not going to be the same reason why we're all in this, our end goal. But to grow your team substantially and to, make this something big, you have got to get into your cold market. And so for me, I think really in general, the best way to do that is hosting CBD classes and then vendor events. But that's going to be probably another call at another time. Okay, we're going to focus on the classes right now. By doing CBD classes, you're doing two things. We're educating, which is so important for people to understand and to, one, become a customer, right? It's like, for me, it was like a light went off when I did my own research, right? And so, and then for them to basically be like a returning customer. And so the other thing is you do CBD classes to expand your network. Those are, to me, two big points that you're doing, and they're both very super important, because I think a lot of you will admit that I still get people who think it's marijuana, right? We live and breathe this. I can't mute anybody, but if whoever's on it, they can mute. There you go. Nope. Looks like it's Brandy. Yeah, there you go. We live and breathe this world right now, like the CBD world, that I still forget that people literally haven't heard much about it, or they just are unsure. So by doing classes, you're introducing it to them, you're educating them. The other thing is, okay, so let's do, for example, your aunt hosts the class, right? Your aunt would be your warm market, which is fine. You utilize your warm market. I'm not saying obviously don't do that. You do. But when all your aunt's friends comes to this class, so whether it's in person or online, you don't, for the most part, you're going to probably not know a majority of them. They're going to be new to you. So that's new customers who could also potentially be your affiliates. And then let's say, your aunt's friend decides to host, right? And then think of all of her friends that are going to be coming. So do you see how by hosting classes, having friends host classes, you can really expand your network quickly. And then obviously for long term too, because they could be returning customers that then refer people to you, all those good things. Classes are about putting yourself out there. I completely recognize that. So some of you who haven't done a class yet might be saying, Stephanie, I don't even. Here's what I want you to know, and I want you to tell yourself. You, one, are the expert. Do you have to know everything? Absolutely not. I still don't even know all the answers. And the beauty of it really is, I think people like transparency as well as just honesty, right? I think that makes a great consultant. So if you're like, that's a great question, and I'm going to find out that answer for you, and then you find out and get back to them. You don't have to know every answer immediately on the spot. It's okay. But you do need to exude confidence. You guys, confidence is attracting. It's attracting for your sales. People want to buy from somebody who's confident. People want to join a team of somebody who's confident. So your classes are a great way for you to do all those things and to be confident. And here's the other thing. All of us did our first class, right? And then you just go, you know what, next time I need to make this list of the things. Okay, like let's say it's in person. So I should have brought some pamphlets to hand out. All right, good, great. You learn from it. So the next class you do, you're going to bring those pamphlets or whatever it is online. But it doesn't have to be perfect, right? No, and they don't know whether you forgot anything or not. Do you understand? Because we are the experts in this. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Confidence doesn't mean you're perfect, but just that you're confident in the product, you're using it, you have your testimony, the science is there. So just be confident and you're going to kill it. So I think that's it. Unless some people have questions for me, all the other ladies are going to be talking about some other things.
Thanks, Stephanie. I think that is incredibly valuable to understand, how quickly you can actually get outside of your aunt and your sister. That can take you way, way outside of your close circle. Rebekah is going to share with us now about how to find hostesses. And this girl's been doing classes for a very long time, and she knows how to find hostesses. So you definitely want to listen up.
Thanks, Melody. So I actually started in the multi-level marketing world with direct sales, which of course, a lot of those type of companies are party plan companies. So I keep having to remind myself to say class instead of party. It's a little bit different, of course, but there's a lot of things that I learned in a party plan company that I now apply with CBD classes. And the biggest thing that I want us to remember is a lot of times when you're trying to get into your cold market, you get this panic feeling of, I need hundreds more friends in order to be successful. Where am I going to meet all these new people that I need to become successful? If you start doing classes and the exponential growth that Stephanie referenced, where you start with your aunt and then you're with your aunt's friend, and each one of those connections is a whole brand new group of people for you, you really only need one person who is willing to host a CBD class for you. So where do you find these people? The first person you'll find by looking in your mirror. You are your best hostess, and you can have a class once a month, because if we're all doing our work correctly, we should be talking to our friends about CBD. We have people that are interested in learning more. We have skeptics who might come to a class, especially if there's some sort of a sample giveaway or something. So have a class yourself. Look in the mirror, contact your best top 10 people who you know are interested but haven't actually ordered yet, and invite them to your class. You can also do fun theme classes, which Again, that gives you some creative ideas about where to find a hostess. My best hostesses have come from people with good stories. So if it's somebody that has a good story about a specific issue, well, make the class around that theme and have her invite friends and family that she knows have some of the same issues that CBD has helped her with. I have found that there's two different kinds of hostesses. One of them is a great customer. She might even be a repeat customer. She'll invite all of her friends, but none of them have ever heard of CBD before. In that case, you're an educator, and you're probably just beginning to educate those people. You might not get a lot of sales out of that class, but you're going to get some incredible connections. Your other hostess is going to feel more fun. She's been talking to her friends about her results. She's been ordering for a few months, and she's a great person to say, hey, you know, I know you're having great results. Have you been talking to anyone about it? Have people been asking you about why you're feeling better? And then when she has a class, she already has some pretty warm leads, and you're more likely to get some orders from that class. One is not better than the other. One just sounds more fun than the other because you have people that might be ready to order immediately if she's already been talking. The other person that I want you to think about are the people that come to you and say, I'd really like to try CBD, but I just can't afford it. And maybe they really can't afford it. Well, a class is a way for you to say, hey, you know, I hear you. Do you think you have any friends who would be interested in CBD? Could we get them together? Could we teach a class? We'll talk a little bit later about hostess benefits, but that is something that I do where I will reward her with a free bottle of CBD if she reaches a qualifying class, and that's a certain amount of orders. So think of those people. It's a very nice way that you as an affiliate can offer her a solution because she really wants to try this stuff, but maybe she really doesn't have the money. I know a few other people had ideas on this too, so if you have, you know, some things to chime in here about the way that you get hostesses, feel free. But those are just some things that I have found to work well. Who else had something to share on this? I don't know what Joni or Stephanie, Alyson, did somebody else have thoughts or was it just me? I don't remember.
I think we all have our own hostess reward, so there's not a right or wrong there. It's what you can afford.
Right.
And I do that too. So like they get a half off product at a certain number of orders, and they get a free full at a certain number of orders. And then for me, especially with the half off, I always order it with my director pack each month. So it only literally costing me like $14, but I just got like maybe $80 or $100 in commission. So it's a win-win.
Yep.
And I want to just add this, that I have heard some people have just used sample packs too. So like that's another, like you don't have to do a full bottle giveaway either, right?
Yep, for sure.
Was that what you were going to say on the hostesses?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you for that. I love all of those ideas, and I just think it's really good to see that you can be creative. Because it's not technically a party planning company, you do have to kind of work out the numbers for yourself, depending on whether you're an executive or a director or a builder, to make sure that what you're doing is going to still be beneficial for your business. Alyson. Alyson is really good at promoting the business in her parties and actually getting affiliates and connecting with her customers. So we've asked Alyson to talk about that and what she does and what has worked for her.
Hi. So along with what everyone else said, meeting new people and opening up your cold market is why I do all these classes. But I think it's expanding my Facebook friend list and just, branching out to all these people that I would have never met otherwise. It's why I keep doing it. But if you're just posting in your classes and you're not actually engaging with people or connecting with them, making yourself, opening yourself up so that they can start to know, like, and trust you, then it's not really going to do any good for you to just keep posting. So I always, if you do your class in a group or if you do your class in an event, either way, who's interested because those are the people that have accepted the invite. So people in groups, it'll show that it won't even show them in the group until they've accepted. And I go through and at the beginning of the class, I friend request everybody and I send them all a message at the same time because I assume that those people are really interested in the product and they want to know more. So I start off with a friend request and a message that says who I am, welcoming them to the class. And then I always leave it with an open-ended question at the end so that they feel like they need to reply to me. So we start a conversation. And that way, when you start off your class that way, people throughout the class will come to you and ask questions. Also, they're more likely to see your posts if you're friends with them. So when you make a post in a group, a lot of times people don't see it unless you have a connection somewhere in Facebook. So you have to be willing to friend request strangers and then make them your friends. So these people then will start seeing your regular Facebook posts. They'll start seeing your kids and your family life or whatever it is that you're posting about. And then that's when that relationship really will start to build. And even if they don't necessarily order during the class time frame, I've had a lot of people come to me after the fact and still order. And that's also how I bring up the conversation of starting this as a business. I pretty much do a lot of that legwork behind the scenes in private messaging. So I really do feel like private messenger is where I do a lot of my business. Are you guys hearing feedback? Is it? Yes? Let me see if I need to take these out. Better. Good. So I feel like that might have been it. Let me look at my notes really fast. Might have been it. That's all. I just tend to do a lot of my work in private messenger.
That's awesome. And I know that can you hear me?
Yeah, I have feedback going on, but I'm going to turn myself on mute.
I got into the party planning business before Hempworx, and I did not fully comprehend how much of the business actually needs to happen in private messenger. Like, you want to think that you can just post and people will buy, but it really is about that personal connection. Okay, we're going to turn it over to you next, Joni. I feel like I'm getting feedback. Are y'all getting feedback from me? That's weird. I'm going to turn this over to Joni next, and she's going to talk about what kind of the content that you're going to post in a party.
Sorry, can I ask Alyson a question really quick?
Yep, I'm here.
Yes,
can you
go ahead.
hear me?
Yep.
Joni, I'm sorry. Can I ask Alyson a question super
Absolutely.
fast?
Yep.
Alyson, can you give us some kind of like a quick preview of what you would say in Messenger to take someone from customer to affiliate to kind of bring that up?
Well, it kind of depends on the conversation we've had leading up to it. So sometimes people will say things like a cost issue, or they need another stream of income, that I kind of bring it up that way. Well, if you're looking to make extra money, this could be something that could help you out. Other things, like if they're a stay-at-home mom, I just say, this might be a really fun business for you because it's like a fun outlet activity, meet new people. I don't know. It depends on the conversation prior, and I just kind of segue it into that. Does that make sense, kind of?
Do you have a post in your party that's business related that helps you see that there's interest?
I do, but I find that those posts they tend to be kind of crickets. I don't get a lot of like, yes, sign me up, but I do get a lot of people that are interested when I ask them about it. So I'll say things like, and I don't just cold message people. It's always people that I've had some kind of prior relationship in Messenger. So I really do message a ton of people every day, all the time. It's always, I try and at least message 5 people a day, but sometimes it's way more than that. So it just kind of depends on where the conversation goes, but you have to be willing to, I guess, put yourself out there and ask questions and message people. And you have to be willing to get no reply and not let that worry you, because I do get a lot of people that ignore me, and it's totally fine with me.
Do you ever in your parties, any of y'all, promote the giveaways for a free tour, like drop a heart for the $500 giveaway or anything like that Travis and Kristen do?
I sometimes personally have, but I, again, don't get a ton of people comment. And actually, I feel like most of the people in these classes are chatting with me in Messenger. So unless I have a really engaged hostess who is also posting a ton and commenting a ton, it can be, so that's why hostess coaching, I don't know if anyone is planning to talk about that now, but hostess coaching is huge, and telling them what to do, telling them what they should post, when to post it, when to call. I really just tell my hostesses kind of what to do all the time. And then if they're helping you the way they should, then more people will be, it's like, I always tell my hostesses too, they're not going to be willing to do stuff that you're not doing. So if you're not commenting and posting, then they're also not going to. So I don't know. That didn't really answer your question. I just went off on a tangent. Sorry. Is it Joni's turn?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can
Are you
go.
ready for that? Okay. You guys are bringing up some great stuff. I think hostess coaching would be an excellent thing to touch on at some point during this conversation, because most people just don't know what to say or when to say it. So being able to take someone who is a novice and tell them how to do it would be perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is content, and what I want to give you is just kind of think through your audience, because a lot of the people who are going to be joining your classes are people who are most likely very unfamiliar with CBD. So the kind of information that I like to post is very basic in the beginning, just starting out with, what is the endocannabinoid system? What is CBD? What is full spectrum? Why is quality important? And being able to address some of those questions to, from the very beginning, clear up any misinformation that people may have, because you're going to get people in the class who think that we're still selling pot. You're going to get people in the class who have no idea what you're talking about, but their grandma friend at church is using CBD, so they want more information. So I like to just start it off with good information, so they have a very good foundation for what the rest of the week or the rest of the class is going to be covering. So if you want, and I know this is probably true for the rest of us who are speaking, but if any of you want to be included on a class that we're doing, then message us and let us know, and we'll drop you into one of our classes, and you can see and help get information from some of the posts that we are using. So I try to do a combination of sciencey, statistical stuff, and more fun, lighthearted information that's easy to digest, and a mixture of pictures and also live testimonials or lives from me, just to give a good mixture of textures in the information that you're sharing, because not everyone is going to take the time to watch a video. Not everyone is going to take the time to read the text. They just want you to break it down in something that they can listen to. So I try really hard to give a good blend of information that's going to meet different learning styles and meet different people based on their schedules. And in the post, the best thing to do is to remember that you want to give a deadline for orders, because if you don't give people a deadline, then they're going to just hang out and be this pending customer indefinitely. So if you are doing a class that lasts 2 or 3 days, then your deadline should be midnight on the last day of the class, or whatever you choose, 5 p.m., whatever it is. Give a deadline and express that deadline more than once so people have and understand the pressure that they need to get in on this immediately. And if you're utilizing a hostess other than you, that's something that she should also be emphasizing with her people. And she can be messaging them individually and just saying, hey, I just want to let you know the class ends tonight. Tonight will be the last time to place an order and be eligible for the giveaway, whatever is going on in your class. So I know a lot of people are using the cup of coffee, like the little packet of CBD oil coffee, as their giveaway, because that's one of the most inexpensive things that we have to offer. So you can buy a box with your director pack 1 month and you have 30 giveaways. So you have a lot that you can offer. So if you were to give a giveaway for everyone who placed an order, or you do a drawing from everyone who placed an order, however it works for you, the thing to keep in mind is that this is all for you and to benefit you. So don't feel like you need to copy one of us. You may do that the first couple of times that you start your own classes because you have never done this before. But as you go through it, and the more that you do, your personality should shine, because again, what you do on your, what you do in your class and what you do in your business is based on who you are. So you're going to attract the people that want to buy from you. So just want to throw that out there too. I think we are going back to Rebekah.
Yes, that's right. Thanks, Joni. Those are some really, really great thoughts. And I just want to second that, what you said about making it your own, because we're just here to share tips, things that we've done. But if you copy exactly what one of us does, your friends will probably know that it's not you, to be honest. You have your own way of communicating, your own way of saying things, so make it unique. I just want to share a little bit about how to make and keep those connections from these classes, because if we're starting with one person we know, and the goal is to expand to a whole bunch of people that we've not met, we have to find a way to bridge that gap beyond the class, especially if those people aren't ordering in the class itself. So that one hostess that I mentioned, the kind who she loves CBD, but her friends have never heard of it, this is especially important in that kind of situation, because if this is the first time they've had any education about CBD, they're probably not going to be ready to order by the end of your 2 or 3 day class. So that means you have a very small window to connect with them, to interact with them, for them to understand who you are as a person, for you to not just sell a product or educate about CBD, but for them to see who you are. Are you a mom? What are your hobbies? Talk about yourself a little bit so you become a person they want to be friends with. Personally, I am just leery enough of Facebook jail that I try not to friend a whole bunch of people that I don't know from my classes. So when I'm doing that coffee giveaway that Joni mentioned, I let one of the entries to the giveaway be that they friend me. That way I don't get in trouble for friending too many strangers. So that's just a little tip that you can do. If they friend you during the class and then you send your new friend a message, that's not weird. No one gets in trouble on Facebook. You've opened the conversation. You can personally reach out to them about anything they've shared in the class, ask if they have any more questions, that type of thing. But you've started to build a relationship that will hopefully continue past the class. I like to start every class by asking, what do I want from this class? And you might not want the same thing from every class that you do. You might have specific goals in a personal class that's different than a class you're hosting for somebody else, where she's inviting all of her friends. But start with asking that question first, and then base all of your posts and your giveaways around whatever connections you want to make, a special offer that you might have this month, Connecting, if you have a group where you put your customers or you want to connect them to the real stories of Hope Not Dope, set out what your goals are to begin with, and then make your posts and your connections support that. That makes it very intentional. I try to have my prizes support what my end goal is. So I might give away a sample pack or a coffee pack, but the way that they enter are things that I want from the class. That's okay. It's okay to have something you want. That's the best way to do this. Another way to maintain that connection is to comment on their posts. So once they've friended you, they may never see you again if you don't start interacting with them on Facebook. If they're brand new people, you don't really know much about them. So be intentional about going to those new friends' Facebook timelines. Start seeing the type of things they want. Comment, not in a stalker kind of way, but comment about, cute kids or fun vacation or something where they start seeing you as, again, a person, not just somebody who sells CBD. That makes you relatable, and it also makes you start to establish that trust that they need so that they will buy from you. You have to think long-term with classes. If you expect that you're going to sell 3 to 5 bottles of CBD at every class, you might be disappointed. I know Melody had posted in our teen group a month or 2 ago about a class that I had done, and I had several people message me, wow, how did you sell so many director packs and 2 affiliates? And to be honest, that was my class. Those were people I had already been working with. So don't set that expectation with a complete group of strangers, because then you're going to be disappointed and you're going to feel like you failed. You did not fail in a class. If you made connections and you educated people that didn't know about CBD, it's a win. Then you just have to find ways to continue to build that relationship and maintain that connection. And a lot of those people will end up becoming your customers. I'm not keeping up on the questions here. I know we've got some good ones. But that's just some of the things that I do to maintain those connections. We all want people not to just fall off the map, as it were. And they really do after a class, unless you really use your class time to make good connections with them. So think about the future, basically, is my best tip for that.
Thank you so much. So Joni, I know that there's quite a few questions. We don't want this class to get, or this training to get too lengthy. And we're at 30 minutes now. So Joni is actually going to do a post on our team page where you guys can go in and ask your questions, and these ladies will actually come back and give a variety of perspectives. And I know a lot of them are doing classes, and we'll be happy to let you be a fly on the wall and see what they're doing and share content and that kind of thing as well. So be sure to go back to the team page and post your questions in there, and these ladies will help answer them. Do you all want to add anything else, or was there any question that specifically stood out to y'all that y'all feel like y'all need to quickly answer? Okie doke. This was super helpful. Thank you guys. This was awesome information, and I hope you guys took away some really great tips, and we'll be able to get your own classes up and rolling very soon. We wish you the best. We will talk to you later. Y'all have a great afternoon.